Anna at the Sewing Studio here, and in this video I am going to talk you through the Bernina L450 Overlocker. I'm going to talk you through its features. I'll show you everything that comes in the box. I'll show you how to thread the machine, we'll do some sewing, I'll show you its capabilities, and then I'll talk a bit about warranty and support. Now we know time is precious, so we've split all of those into chapters, so if there's a particular section you're interested in, feel free to head straight there. So the Bernina L450 is a standard overlocker, and it has the capabilities of using either 2, 3 or 4 threads, which gives you 16 different stitch options. When it comes to threading, it's as easy as it can be for a standard overlocker. It's got colour-coded thread paths and lay-in tension dials as well, which are much easier than the dials that you get on the front. Down in here, you've got diagrams of how to thread. Like I say, everything's colour-coded, and then in here as well there's a little gadget to help you thread the lower looper, which is always the trickiest part, and I'll show you that when we get to the sewing section. Now you are able to change the length of those stitches, and that's with the dial on the side here, and that's anywhere from just under 1mm up to 4mm. And you can change the width as well by moving the knife out, and that's with this dial down on the front here. And that's anywhere from around 3mm up to 9mm. As well as adjusting the width of the cutting knife, you can also retract that out of the way. And that's just over this side, and you just pop it down like that. So then you can overlock without trimming your fabric at the same time. The presser foot has an extra high lift, so you can get any bulky items in underneath there. And you can adjust the pressure that's applied to that foot as well. And that's with the dial up here, and there's 5 different stages of pressure that you can have. And that's really helpful when you're sewing with finer fabrics that can tend to get chewed up in the teeth. Now the feed teeth themselves, as with every overlocker, there's 2 sets of teeth, and you have what's called differential feed, and that's adjusted with this other dial on the side here. So basically for most overlocking, both sets of teeth are moving at the same rate, but you can adjust the speed of the front set of teeth. Mostly we speed them up so that you can achieve a gather or a ruffle, something like that, but also counteracting that waviness that you get with really stretchy fabric. Setting the machine up for a rolled hem is really easy. There's just a little lever here to remove the chain finger. Some machines that's a separate piece that you have to take out that can easily get lost. And this machine has manual tension, so you'll see you've got your dials on the top here, so you will need to be adjusting those as you move between your different types of fabric. But then it also has Bernina's micro thread control, which is down on this little switch here. And that basically means that you can fine tune your stitches. So if you get them nearly there with the tensions, but it's still a little baggy with the loops on the end of your fabric, you can just fine tune that with that micro thread control. And I'll try and show you that when we get to the sewing section. There's 2 nice bright LED lights, one that's shining down on the needle and the other one shines down into the looper area. I'm just going to close that there. Now top speed for this machine is 1200 stitches per minute. And it weighs around 8.5 kilos, and there's a little place in the back here that you can put your hand there to transport it around. Now in terms of what comes in the box, the machine will arrive like this, and down in the front cover here you've got some accessories where you can always store them, and it'll already come with the standard foot on the machine. And a seam guide that attaches to the bed of the machine. There's also a replacement upper knife and this range of accessories. They all fit nice and neatly in this storage box. And then you've got a dust cover to keep the dust off the machine. And then a trap bin or a cut-off bin that just sits on the front of the machine there that catches all your edges of your fabric as you're trimming them. You've got a full instruction manual, and then also this really handy kind of cheat sheet, I suppose, for all the stitches and what you need to set up on the machine for all the stitch options. So if you like what you're seeing in this video, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to be notified when we upload a new video. It could be another one like this on a different machine or one of our great tutorials. So let's head into the threading and sewing section. So the first thing you want to do when you go to thread the machine is make sure that the presser foot is in the up position, and that's so that the tension discs are open so the thread can sit in them correctly. And then you're going to start from right to left, so with the lower looper, which is the red colour code. Obviously you can use all 4 the same colour threads. I'm just using the colour of the path so that you can see what I'm doing. And then when I show you the results, which element is producing which stitch. So I'm going to grab my thread, the end of it, and go into the thread tree at the top. And then you might not be able to see, there is a guide just in the back there, and you slide into it from right to left. And then come down through these tension discs. There's a red dot here, so I'm going to go in behind there, and then there's 2 red dots here. I'm going to grab my tweezers and try not to get my hands in the way for you. So I'm just going to come up under those 2 guides there. Now what's tricky about a lower looper is that the thread needs to be in the back of this one here, which you can only see through this side. But Bernina have made it easier on this machine by adding a looper threader. So it's this piece here, so you just flick that forward, and then the piece that we need in the back of the looper will flick the thread in there where we need it to be. So there's this guide here, so I'm going to pop my thread in under there. And then the piece that I've just flicked out, I'm going to pop my thread in and around there, like so. And then just lift that lever up so that sits where we need it to sit. And then I'm just going to grab the end of my thread and go through the eye of the lower looper and put the thread out the back there to me. So that's that one done. That's the trickiest element, so that's not too bad. So I'm going to move on to the upper looper. It's exactly the same up here in the guide at the back, down through the tension discs. But this time I'm following the blue dots. So we've got blue dots here, we've got blue dots under here as well. So I just pop that in under there. There's a blue dot here on that guide. So I'm just going to go around and in, and then straight through the eye of the upper looper. Oops. Like so. And out through the back of the machine and under the foot. For the needles, exactly the same again up here, so in the guide down through the tension discs, but this time you're coming along here. So I'm doing the right needle, which is the green, so I'm going to go over where the green mark is, and then in all these guides to the right for the right needle, and lastly through the eye of the needle. And then again out and under the foot. And then for the left needle, exactly the same, down and around, but this time I'm following the yellow dots. So in there, and then I'm on the left needle, so it's the left-hand guides, before we go through the eye of the left needle. I'm just going to trim that end of that thread because it's a bit fluffy. And there we go, and under the foot again. There we are. So that's everything threaded. Then what I do before I go putting my foot on the foot pedal, I check to make sure I've threaded it correctly. So I'm just going to drop the presser foot down, hold on to these threads and turn the hand wheel towards me. And I'm gently just pulling these out as I go. And what I'm feeling for is that everything is moving smoothly, nothing's getting caught. That sounds good, so I'm going to pop my foot on the foot pedal. And I can see that that's looping as I would expect. So I'm fine now, and I'm confident that everything's threaded correctly, so I can start with my fabric. I'm going to start with some cotton. I've got 2 layers here, and each of my tensions on number 4, and we'll see what result we get. So I'm just going to lift the foot slightly. I've got the knife up. It's on a 6mm cut-in width, which is about standard. So this is going to produce a 4-thread overlock. And I'm just showing you there the control that you have on the foot pedal, so you can really go quite slow. Up to the top speed of 1200 stitches there. And you can see that actually the machine didn't move. So it's got suction cups underneath, so it's suctioned to the desk and it doesn't tend to bounce around and move. So there's the nice result that I've got. Now I can see straight away that actually I didn't check straight out the box what the stitch length was on. So the length is a bit too tight, but actually for this it does look fine. But the loops here, what you're actually aiming for is for these loops to interlock right on the very edge of the fabric. So you've got the red thread there, which is the lower looper, so that's forming the loops on the bottom of the fabric. And then the blue is the upper looper forming the loops on the top of the fabric. And then you've got your left and your right needle sewing your seam. So first I'm going to set the stitch length to 2.5. It puts a dot there to show you. And then because the lower looper is baggy, if you like, I'm going to tighten the tension up on that. So I'm going to go to number 5 and then test again. And there you go. That's a much neater, more consistent result. So the stitch length is much better for this type of fabric. And the loops are just about joining on the very edge of the fabric there. There's a little bit of give, and that's then where the micro thread control comes in. So that's this lever here. So I want to just decrease it. So I'm going to go towards the minus as far as I can. And then I'll run it through again. Don't get me wrong, this stitch is perfectly acceptable. But with this, you can get the stitch absolutely perfect to where your loops are nice and tight on the edge there. And that's going to give a really nice strong seam, I couldn't say the word then, for all sorts of different things that you're going to make. So that's with a cotton fabric. Let's move on to something thicker. So I've got some denim here. It's a 10-ounce denim. So I'm going to try it on those same settings, but because it's thicker, I'm going to increase the stitch length slightly, and that's no different from what you would do on a sewing machine. So I'm going to pop that in. Off. Oops. And there you go. That's laying nice and flat, nice and neat, nothing skipped. It's coped with the thickness of the fabric very well, and our loops are interlocked right on the very edge of the fabric. So I'm going to double this over now and go through 4 layers, and I'm going to put the micro thread control back to the medium position, so neutral if you like. And the reason for that is because, how can I explain this? So I've got a certain amount of fabric between those stitches that are there. I'm increasing that fabric, so the stitch is going to get tighter. So I'm not going to change anything with my tension because I still had that on a minus. I'm just going to increase it, and that'll give the stitch, make the stitch a tiny bit wider to give it a bit more room to accept that amount of fabric. I know what I mean, I just hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to go for it. Okay. Just cut those off. And there you go. Again, 4 layers, absolutely no problem at all. Stitches are all formed and nothing is skipped. And again, that interlocking of the upper and lower looper is right on the edge of the fabric. Nice and secure. So when it comes to dealing with something with stretch now, so I've got this fleece, which is obviously a stretchy
I can't say it, a stretch knit fabric. It really is quite a stretchy fleece, this one. So I'm going to go down the edge without, might just do a single layer actually without cutting, because if you were doing just a blanket, I've done some for the dogs before now where I've just literally overlocked the edge of a piece of fleece as a blanket for them. So I'm going to retract the knife, so you just push that in, roll it down and come out again. I'm going to leave it on the same settings that I had and we'll see what happens. And I'm going to just use the edge of the plate here, in here, as my guide. In actual fact, I'm just going to move that up to 8 because it's a thicker fabric, if you like. That's the width, by the way. I want a slightly deeper one from normal. So because I've got the knife, not got the knife up now, I can get in further to my needles. A long piece of fabric. So as you can see, the stitches is nice and the stitches are nice and the stitches are formed, but we've got this heavy waviness from the stretch of the fabric. I fancy as well, looking at that the looper is now a tiny little bit too tight. So a couple of things we're going to adjust. I'm going to decrease the looper tension slightly. And to counteract this waviness, I'm going to increase the speed on the front teeth. So this is on the differential feed, which is here. So I'm going to move it up. It's quite wavy, so I might go up to 2 and we'll see what happens. And this is what you need to do. Oh, I'll put the knife back up now a minute. Hang on, sorry. What I was going to say was this is what you need to do before you embark on your project, is have some test fabric of the same fabric that you're going to be using and make sure that the results are correct before you then go on to your main project. And as you can see, that's now sitting nice and flat. And actually, looking at it now, I don't think I did need to tighten up that looper. No, it's okay. You decide, but I think that's perfectly acceptable. So when we move up to 2 layers of this, same principle as with the denim. So we've now got more fabric that's going to fill those stitches up. So I'm going to decrease the tension on the 2 loopers just slightly. Pop that in underneath. And there you can see, it's given a nice lovely result. The loops are interlooping on the edge of the fabric, which, as I say, is ideally what you're looking for. I'm just in awe of how lovely and neat that is. And again, your seam is really secure. So that's how easy it is to just very slightly adjust the machine to get really nice results on lots of different weights and thicknesses of fabric.
The Bernina L450 comes with 2-year warranty, and in the box you'll find this card that explains it all to you and how you register your machine with Bernina. But don't forget that we're here at the sewing studio as well to help and support you with anything that you might need with your new machine. Now I hope now we've come to the end of this video that I've managed to demonstrate to you just how easy the L450 is to use and what nice stitches that it produces across a variety of different fabrics. So if it's helped you make your mind up that this is the right machine for your needs, then head on over to our website and grab yours now. If you're local to us, why not pop in and try this machine for yourself? Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.